All right, Lux, Shen, midrange. Lux has been one of my favorite champions in this game. Really like her a lot. So Lux is a 6-mana 4/5 that has a barrier when she comes into play. So barriers negate the initial damage that it would take, and then it goes away, but barriers automatically go away after 1 round. Lux here says when you cast 6+ total mana worth of spells, levels her up and creates a final spark. Her leveled mode is slightly bigger and continues to make final sparks every time you cast 6+ mana worth of spells. Final spark is a free spell that goes away at end of turn, so it's fleeting, but it deals 4 damage to an enemy, and it overwhelms, so if the enemy has less than 4 damage, it also blasts your opponent's Nexus a little bit. So Lux really shines with 6+ mana spells that are burst, like back-to-back and stand united, because these trigger her level up effect and give you final sparks at burst speed. She's also fantastic with cards like Remembrance that are just like good spells that cost 6+ mana because they trigger her all on her own. We're pairing Lux here with the champion Shen, who when he attacks, he gives his supported ally a barrier. Support means the ally directly to his right. So again, the ordering in which you attack with your units in this game really matters. And then he levels up when he's seen 4+ barriers get put down. And his leveled mode says whenever a barrier gets placed on something you control, it gains +3 attack till end of turn. The rest of this deck is a bunch of cheaper units such as Fleet Feather Tracker and Laurent Protégé, which have Challenger. These cheap Challenger units are very good with Shen because barriering your Challenger units that force their things to block lets you use them multiple times as Challengers. War Chefs, while not quite granting a barrier like Shen, also helps your Challenger creatures kill multiple things. And then Green Glade Caretaker is a card that can frequently just run away with the game if it's left unchecked, because it gets 2 power permanently every time you assign a barrier. So especially with Lux, Green Glade Caretaker can very quickly grow out of control and demand a block every single turn. Past that, we also have various combat tricks like Deny, Riposte, Spirit Refuge as ways to assign barriers to help with Shen and also help us win in combat with our Challengers. So let's go ahead and pop on into some games here with this. This deck was a lot of fun. Last time we played it on stream, played it off stream a little bit too, because Lux is one of my favorite champions. Let's see how it feels today. Yes, yeah, Lux's inherent barrier counts for Shen leveling up as well. Bump the Modern Winota deck that was donated for earlier today. Also bumping my 10-minute timeout. Sounds good comic. Gangplank Misfortune. Probably another mid-range deck. This hand's probably fine. Mulligan the Riposte and look for another threat, maybe. Lux is great. Probably save the Remembrance for post-Lux. What I say are the top decks at the moment. I think Braum, Anivia, Control, and Darius Aggro are probably the 2 best decks in Runeterra at the moment. At least from my experience playing on the ladder a bunch. That being said, there's probably a dozen or more decks that I consider competitive, and those 2 decks aren't that much better than the other things that I've seen. We'll see if they open on attacks here or not. Alright, since they're opening on attacks, I think I'm going to go ahead and block and then single combat these 2 to try and trade 2 for 2 here. We have like a transfusion here, but it's not the end of the world. Transfusion still kills one of their things. Knocks in Fervor, sure. So the board's still going to clear and I'm going to be at 11. Opponent's deck's a little bit more aggressive than I was expecting with Gangplank. Gangplank must be the very top end of their curve. Just gonna pass here and see what they do. If they want to just let me bank spell mana, I think that's good for me. Since I drew a second Remembrance, I'm gonna play the first one out here. We're gonna block both of these. Technically have 2 profitable blocks. We'll take 3 from this trigger in this, but... Sure. So we'll open... Oh. That's a phenomenal draw. I could have barriered there, but then they just block and I trade, so you're right that that was a legal play. We could get punished for not doing that. It could have been right to be aggressive with this, so that way we could gain 5. We could just get burned out here. They'd already committed to make it rain with no blocks. Okay, good. That's a good observation. That is accurate.
Strength and grace, beauty in the play.
These woods protect their own.
Alright, so I fucked this game up. I could have used this to decimate. Decimate should have been a card that I should have been thinking about. I took the wrong role in that game because I misassessed how aggressive their deck was going to be based on their champions. I saw Gangplank and assumed that they were more mid-rangey, and they were definitely far more aggressive than that. I should have used the barrier with the life gain more proactively. Now, this opponent's playing VI Heimer, which is a more controlling deck, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan the Spirit Refuge here. Hey, I like 1-drops. Remember, in general, backseats gaming is not welcome. Random stuff like, take X line, why didn't you take X line? Instead, help me understand why your recommendation is good. Say, Jeff, you should probably do this, and this is why this is a good line. Help me understand why your suggestion is good. Don't just talk to me like you're an authority and your suggestion has to be good. Coming from Magic, what's mid-range? Asking the real questions. I don't think Heimer VI was very good before the nerf, and I don't think it's very good after the nerf. I think it is mediocre at best. I'm gonna pass here. See what they do. I'm gonna do this and try and eat their 3/3. Yeah, we played Heimer VI yesterday, and elusive aggro with extra steps is accurate.
Two worlds, one balance.
Do you have a laser beam? If so, you can kill Shen here.
The order rewards its faithful.
For people that are new in chat, the people asking I'm from Magic, what's mid-range, are making a joke because Magic hasn't supported mid-range as a playable archetype in like a year and a half.
Too late for you.
Because of their design decisions. Archetype / deck you'd recommend for someone trying to start Runeterra. Yeah, I'd recommend Kinko Elusives or Darius Aggro. I don't think we've played the Elusives deck, but we've played Darius Aggro. Demacia Bannerman is also a reasonable recommendation. If they just pass and give me spell mana here, I think I'm okay with that. Do I want to back to kill this? I could also just stand united. I kind of don't hate that. Although if I stand united and swap in Shen and they deal a damage and break his barrier, I get kind of got. A back and try and trade here. Thragtusk is coming in Jumpstart. Yep. It's gonna Ramp's gonna get a big upgrade in Historic. It's kind of scary. So we're gonna bank 1 spell mana this turn. We'll go up to 7 next turn, so we'll have 8 total mana. Single combat's a good pickup. Lead on Bright Steel here. You get a barrier on this. We're 2 barriers off of leveling here.
I find them unworthy. Eat up, friend.
Alright, comes down to 3.
Eminently logical.
So, mid-range, I don't think describing mid-range is about the value of individual cards. In my opinion, the defining feature of mid-range is mid-range decks assume different roles in different matchups. So, against aggro decks, a mid-range deck is a control deck, and against control decks, a mid-range deck is an aggro deck. I think that's really the headlining feature in my mind, at least, of like what makes mid-range and what makes it not. Rather than talking about card quality, it's about role assessment.
Rain from a cloudless sky.
No, there's literally other cards in Jumpstart that do exactly that. Bulletproof Pope that came to Magic Arena, so that can't be the reason.
And round it goes. My most groundbreaking invention to date.
I think it's a playable deck, Pladara. I just don't think it's anywhere near being one of the better decks in the format.
These woods protect their own.
Don't all decks take a different role to some degree? Like I'm playing control and you're playing control. Kinda. Like, a lot of the control versus control, who's doing what, tends to come down to how your draws are lining up a lot of the time, though. Which is different than, like, mid-range is basically always the beatdown against aggro, is an important distinction. Why not fight the 4-3 with Heimer there to play around that, since the 4-3 could at least barrier when it counts? I don't understand what you're saying. If I fought the 4-3, the Heimer would still be alive because their only thing that protects it makes it a what's it called? Plus whatever amount. We're going to 1 here. We're going to die to a burn spell.
We walk between realms. They are under my protection.
Oh, to play on Will of Ionis, sure. This is basically the only way the opponent's archetype wins, and I think the descriptor of the opponent's deck is just elusive aggro with more steps is super accurate. You basically have... I don't think I've ever lost to the Heimer VI deck where they didn't play Heimer, have double burst or triple burst, and protection. And, like, the number of things you have to go right for the Heimer deck to win just feels like way more effort than just playing the elusive aggro deck. Like, my opponent's draw there was, like, patently absurd. It, like, just barely dragged them across the finish line. Protege's okay here. Speaking of elusive aggro, Challenger is good. Brightsteel Protector is not fantastic. I guess it could just be an okay 2-drop to play out. I'm gonna try and find something else here. Find like a Hawk, we're better off. Our deck is determined to give us Protector. We'll roll with it. I'm just gonna pass here and bank some spell mana. How does that compare to Easy Karma needing Ezreal to win, but requiring way more turns to get set up? What's the best way to put it? The other tools the Ezreal deck plays help it survive into the mid to late game easier a lot of the time. Ezreal is also less dead of a card on its own early game because Ezreal as a card is a cheap threat that can help you control the board. You can also just kill people with Karma plus burn spells, and Ezreal Karma control. Also agree with Pelly there. You don't strictly need Ezreal. I think the fact that Karma also does what you're looking to do, in addition to Ezreal helping you control the board early occasionally, is everything you need. Are you using single combat to fight here? I feel like the answer is no. If I wait a turn here, I can barrier and then fight with the barrier. Another single combat's a great draw.
My shield is yours. Down from the trees.
They'll never see us coming.
Tough matchup for us. Why? We're in a fight spot. What's the issue? We have removal spells, and then I'm gonna play Shen, who gets to barrier this and kill something.
Two worlds, one balance.
Game has a ton of back and forth in it. We're definitely not guaranteed to win by any means, but like, we're also not guaranteed to lose. I think we're in a fine spot. He meant the last match versus Heimer. And I think that matchup's fine for us. Like I said, the opponent's draw was like literally in the upper tier of draws their deck is capable of generating, and they just barely dragged us across the finish line. You want us to play a version you made without the early challenger stuff. No, I think the early challenger stuff is what part of what makes this deck competitive.
Without a sound.
You're covered.
Gusset Palm is super annoying. Just do this. Five's not terrible on their board. Especially with another protege and some barriers next turn. We're still at 16. Health total's nice and high.
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Strike for justice!
It will be done.
Don't look twice.
Press on.
Okay. So we have 7 mana right now, so we're gonna get Bright Steel formation in 2 turns. Or on our next attack, I suppose. That's the best way to put it. Stand United will be excellent next turn when they attack in with Zed, since he has quick attack.
See the world through new eyes.
We have a total of 11 mana here, so I can Stand United plus Deny, or Stand United plus Riposte.
Today you are king.
Okay.
They won't suffer long. I have many faces.
Close my eyes, make it fair. This is my opponent. This will not take long. Close my eyes, make it fair.
I could take slightly more damage and get 2 points on here, but I don't think that really matters. I guess it matters because if I do this, then next turn I can barrier and then hook this to finish it. Let's do that. We'll go to 11. The thing didn't have lifesteal, otherwise I would barrier it. I don't think it's worth barriering without lifesteal.
Swift and silent as the breeze.
Huh? Do I wait on this and just, like, riposte to kill this? I think that's the play, right? Just like the way I die by mistake is them having units like this. I think the play is play this out and then we'll riposte and kill this. Hey, Boxy, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Silence.
3 cards here.
My friend and I are soul collectors.
This is such a great one of. Just fantastic. Fantastic top end. He's definitely a power top, chat. We could still die here. If they peel enough elusive stuff, they could run us out. That is an awesome draw, because it gives us some blockers. Yeah, I like this one. Most of the decks I play off stream are Lux decks, so like Lasting People, and this is one of my favorite ones. This one and the Lux Ash deck we played yesterday or the day before was fantastic too. Alright, Easy Karma. Matchup where we are the beatdown. Yep, sounds great. Thanks, Demadish. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been enjoying making the Runeterra content. Definitely my favorite game right now.
Flavor and spice.
With quiet steps, the dragon approaches.
So they have a 3-2 now. I'll get to play Bright Steel Protector, give this a barrier. And this will be able to gobble this up in combat, which is nice. Rude.
Morsel of regret.
Steel is yours.
The barriers with the Challenger units are just so good.
I go waste upon me mushrooms.
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Why they would use Thermo on that? They're just trying not to die. Like, my deck puts a decent amount of pressure into play. They're trying to stall the game out, so they can go a little bit later. Looking to do my first deck submission to celebrate 3 months. Can I submit something as vague as, yeah, definitely, Kraken Hogs. And I've got a lot of favorite Riptide Rex decks. Okay, so I think I'm gonna riposte here, which saves it from this and then lets this trade with the Wumps. I think is a good swap here. And yeah, the one thing that Runeterra's diverse meta has been so great for people that are new to the channel. Most of the decks I play here are from a deck queue on my website that are viewer submissions. So, in addition to a number of channel subscribers saying they've been enjoying the Runeterra content, I've also had a constant flow of deck submissions coming in, which has been great. A lot of easy to have a lot of variety in this game. Okay, so I think we want to single combat these two so they don't get to make a Dragonling next turn. I think would be ideal. Sure, you Thermo Beam me.
My duty's done.
Do I just open attacks here? It's not quite lethal. I think I'm gonna Protege and see what they do. Their deck doesn't play Sweeper, so it's not like I get punished by a slow Sweeper here. Yeah, I basically, like, Magic's formats have become so bad in the last year that I basically just can't do viewer submissions there. I'm gonna try and kill them here because the viewer submissions just aren't competitive enough. Their boss was lethal, still is. Yeah, like, I think going for it here is correct, but again, like, this isn't Magic. It's an incredibly interactive game. My opponent has a bunch of mana available and a bunch of cards in hand. We've been denied. We are the weakest link, chat. Denied. Block. Okay, let's open on attacks here, huh? Bunch of barriers ready to go. 2 lethal threats. They could have another burn spell here. If they have another Mystic Shot. If they have another Mystic Shot, the Stand United still kills them though, right? Because I just swapped them. You definitely can, Larkart. welcome back. The mods are mean. Do we hit level 16? Yay! Champion capsules. Here's a question. If I wait to open all of these after the next set happens, I could get cards from the next set, right? So if I have a mostly full collection, I should sit on these. Because these are just cards from this region, right? I've been holding these, but these could be cards. It worked last time. Okay, yeah. So I'm holding these because my collection's basically full, and then I'll have a better chance to get things that aren't just shards if I sit on the rewards until the next set drops. So I'm gonna switch over to 16. Yeah, like there's gonna be a new region added, but they'll also add cards to existing regions with the new set. Enjoying this content, consider trying out. Do you have a code or kickback? I do not, Playwho. I do not. So I did a sponsored segment initially where they paid me a rate to do the first stream, but since then, no referral code or anything like that. Just playing a bunch of it because it's a lot of fun. Best way to check it out, just give it a download. Opponent is playing Ezreal Twisted Fate. I think I'm gonna mulligan the removal spells and look for a 1-drop here. Fantastic. Excellent hand tier. Feel free to tag them on social media and let them know that you picked the game up because of me. Twitter's great.
There's plenty of killing left.
Read. Been grinding the ladder with Lux, Ashe, Midrange control. Yeah, Blue Man, which is similar to the build we played yesterday. That was definitely one of my, Lux in general is my favorite champion in the game right now. And so this and that one have been two of my favorite decks, I think.
Flavor and spice.
On spice.
My selection speaks for itself.
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Who does not know the name Laurent? You? Do you not know the name Laurent? Did I ever do a jumpstart article? No, I ended up not doing it.
Eat up, friend.
So again, this gives it supported ally +1/+1, which is the ally right next to it. So it kicks us up to a 3/2 to let us potentially trade here. Lepta. That combat was not great for us. Although I guess they traded 2 for 2 there. It's like not too big of a deal, right? It's a decent pickup.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Do I want to save this? I feel like the answer is yes. Maybe this is wrong because it's still gonna get stunned, and then they crack me for 5 here, and I've burned my lifelink card now. Yeah, this might be wrong.
You're covered.
Hey, I think you'll find good comfort in other people who burned out on Magic of late here, X. I know, that's why I initially tried Runeterra. I think that describes a good number of people here.
Protect and strike. Stay back.
If it didn't pay my mortgage to play Magic, I'd probably be taking a break from Magic until the fall rotation. War Chef's here is great. It'll even let us pump this up to kill this. Red card, sure.
I'm a people person.
My duty's done.
Feed Demacia.
Looks like trouble.
Boys. A delicious challenge.
I like barrier shit.
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
Do I think it's right to attack first and then play Remembrance this turn. So that way, in case I hit the lifelink 5-drop, I can have lifelink here. That's super unfortunate that this hit my 2 X1s here. Rough. A little bit RNG there. And it hit me so they could double nab. Gross. Actually, you know, it's kind of amusing. One of the reasons I was actually originally blackballed by Wizards of the Coast was that in addition to being vocal about Magic Online not being a good piece of software, I also stopped streaming Magic Online for 2 years at one point and streamed one of their competitors. Was one of the reasons why they didn't want to work with me ever. We're about to get sharked. Yeah, that was Hex. I think we're dead, chat. That's actually a really good pickup. We're down to 2, though. Need to draw something relevant. Dead. Wizards of the Thin-Skinned, yep. Yeah, sure. Rift X is real good. Nah, I'll never really play anything that ends me up on a Pro Tour, Brian. Ash Sajani. A Mulligan the Spirit Refuge. Keep these 3, I think. We played the Elusive rather than the 3/3 there, because your only spell... Because your only out was a spell, because they're obviously going to attack. Well, the 2/2 Elusive draws a card, the Redeemer specifically. Oh, does it? I thought they both did the same thing. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read the 3/3. I thought they both just drew cards. Can I give hats off to Saven, who's a Hoaglandia regular that understands the rules of how Hoaglandia work? Did you see how Saven not only told me my play was wrong, but explained why it was wrong?
My shield is yours.
They've been beaten into me by well-deserved timeouts. God bless. See, the system works, shit.
Protect and strike.
Hey, thanks to whoever gifted a sub to save it. I appreciate it.
Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
Okay. Terrible pickup.
Unite the Freljord.
Oh, it's a 6/4. Stupid Hawk. Stupid Hawk. That's unfortunate.
Swiftly now. I'll cut them apart. You're mine.
Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to remembrance, huh? Am I? I don't know, it feels bad burning this before Lux, but like Lux is still 2 turns off, and I gotta get on board faster. It's a decent pickup. We get our Challenger on here with open attacks. Do you have a Fury of the North? You do not. God bless.
Who gets tossed?
Ready for deployment.
Let's bank the 3 mana here.
I need just a moment. We can do this.
Go time!
We're gonna hook Lux here. We're gonna hook one of the smaller ones. Deploying units with barriers are so great for stalling combat. Just like locks them into like no good attacks basically.
Took the bait.
I'll cut them apart. Face me.
Break their spirits and their their swords.
Break their spirits and their swords.
A chill in the air.
Huh?
My shield is yours. Demacian.
There is not, Issaroth. You have to craft each card individually. It's not great.
And all things bright.
Do I kill Kato or the 5-1? I think I kill Kato. Nah, I think I want to get value out of my barrier here. This does mean if they open on attacks next turn, they can hook and kill Lux, but I think I'm okay with that.
Carved from the savage code.
Deny, being super awkward here.
It can't be.
Yeah, vulnerable means anything can hook it. That's exactly correct. I assume this 5-1's gonna eat this 7-2.
For glory, you're mine.
Arrows at the ready.
This isn't an awful turn for us.
Stand strong.
Definitely behind, but not just the end of the world. Have top decks that could recover for us.
Be Demacia.
Yeah, the fact that you can't respond to Sejanni's is one that's felt awkward, feels awkward to me.
I walk the space between worlds.
What time is it?
I sense an
So I could do this. This lets them eat my Shen, though. I could also attack like this and like trade these two for this, basically. Yeah, I think this is the play. I don't want to lose the Shen. If we draw like a Stand United.
Eyes bigger.
It's not a terrible draw.
Nothing can stop me.
Most Frostbite abilities are burst speed. It's fair.
I give you muscles.
Demacian steel protects me.
Remembrance was a really good draw there. Please don't have a pump spell.
No regrets. Well fought. Remember the fallen.
Okay. Those are good draws.
Flavor and spice.
You really need a challenger to kill Kato here?
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Patience.
Back to the base.
Never didn't have it. Yeah, it's been a good sequence for the home team here. I also don't really have to do that. Maybe I just do this. So this way, because otherwise they get to eat this with their 3/3, which I really don't want them to do. Let's just do this. This can't block.
Over there.
Okay. Can you challenge a minion that can't block? You can. You can.
What did you catch?
Remember. The Demacian November. We are very lucky, chat. Very, very lucky. Definitely ran solidly above average here. Game's not over just yet, but we're a little bit ahead.
It must be done.
Yes, the yellow chevrons show you something working towards leveling up. So Ash is 4/5 the way to level up. So Johnny is 3/5 of the way to level up here. Hey, ya boy, Clarence. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around.
We walk between realms. The balance has been maintained.
So, really close game. And, like, we were really fortunate for this to be a close game.
Line up. Nature blesses her followers.
We each defend our brethren.
This attack is bad because it leaves them dead on the backswing. So, this attack is bad from them because I go to 1 here, and then I open attacks, and because Shen is leveled, this is lethal.
It must be done.
Over there.
Yeah, we got really fortunate to win that game. We were super far behind, and then, like, Remembrance drew, like, the stone cold nuts. Opponent definitely, like, messed up that very last turn, but up until there, we were very fortunate to be in a spot to win. It does leave me dead to some of their burn spells, sure, but I think I leave myself dead to put them dead on board. And maybe they're just playing to that out if they think that that's their out. Maybe that is correct on their part. The Trump administration is dropping the action of deporting international college students. God bless. That's nice. You're still a turd for wanting to have done it in the first place, but I'm glad lots of lawsuits. Good lord, that was a perfect mulligan. Holy crap. You love, God bless America. I love this deck, chat. It's great. I love good strong curve. Real decks have curves, chat. Flavor and spice. You got it. Yes, attacking on evens is also great here with this hand. Big agree. No problem, Drew. Thanks for dropping in today.
Who does not know the name Laurent?
Who does not know the name Laurent? Do I Shen or do I Protector Chefs? I think I Shen because I want to try and get Shen leveling here. Will attack with the ordering being Shen, Tracker, Protege. That's super unfortunate.
So I go.
Well, we were gonna attack with more, but they have a Mystic Shot. It's rude. Basically about as bad as that turn could have gone for us. It's fine. We're still in an okay spot here.
Lost a fair game. Or played one. Soak it in.
We'll let this happen. We'll go ahead and we'll War Chefs here. And then next turn, we'll Protector, Barrier this, and then hook the Twisted Fate. We'll bank some spell mana this turn.
Looks like trouble.
I'm gonna take 2 here.
You're covered.
Safety will cost you.
Feel the sizzle. No one goes hungry.
And I think if they block here, I'm gonna riposte to keep this alive. Just clean the board out, deal 4.
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
So the sequencing there, the close combat resolves first, which breaks the barrier, and then the 2 happens, leaving him alive, which is nice.
Yeah, you don't want to cross me.
Break their spirits and their swords.
Stop stealing my stuff!
Ye started without me.
These woods protect their own.
Or just borrowing, they'll give it back after the game, right? Ooh! Oh, Shenny boy! Oh, Shenny boy! The barriers are calling. Do 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 do. You'll level up so quickly. I love that ordering your attackers really matters in this deck. It's so enjoyable. And now Shen will protect this. This will pump this, so we kill this. Can mouse over the eye to see how combat's gonna work out. That all that works.
No one goes hungry.
No one goes hungry.
Poor thing.
Let's not use the words you just used in my chat. Thanks. If I stand united to swap this over to keep Shen's life total high, Shen going to 1 against the Make It Rain deck and the Static Shock deck seems not great for me.
The Kinku go where they are needed.
think we do this. This also gets him up to 3 out of 4 towards leveling while I have a riposte in my hand. And like they have no board and I have 2 Lorons and a Shen ready to level. Anybody hungry? Got some chefs.
There's plenty of killing left.
Flavor and spice.
See if we can, I was just about to say if we could dodge Riptide Rex, we could dodge a ball. That does not appear to be the case, though.
They are under my protection.
So this leaves me a 5-2, but the bird also gets to hook me here. Yeah, Riptide Rex might be too much. I guess I get to trade with these two, but then like they've got a 3/3 and 3 cards left over. That's our best draw here, like another Shen. Yeah, Riptide's basically just like king of these mid-range games. It's very powerful. Okay, I mean, it's a good pickup.
I will play my part.
I'm gonna attack first here because this implies they're gonna kill one of my things. They have a make it rain, static shock, brutal. All right, hopefully this hits the 5/5. We haven't gotten to get Lux going in any of the games we've played so far with this deck.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
Squeeze me. All right. We have a game, as they say. We have a game. I mean, they were using Make It Rain to enable their thing very clearly, so like, their play seems fine.
Get rich.
Oh, we're halfway there. We got denied by our own card. Oh no, no.
Soldiers, to me.
This is the part where we demand they nerf Nab, right? We complain loudly and demand they nerf it.
I am one. My life for these lands.
For reference, I think the Nab mechanic is fine. It's definitely a feels bad man moment, but I think in terms of power level, it's more. Alright, I'm just gonna play another Riptide and kill us here. Yeah, that sounds right. Shark is king of the mid-range, chat. He's very, very good. He's very, very good. Let's try to do one more, see if we can get Lux going before we call it a day. I haven't gotten to laser beam anybody yet in this set. It's very disappointing. From Swain. This might be a game where we just turn 3 Remembrance. I mean, like, sure, my opponent was fortunate to draw all 3 Pilfered Goods, but, like, the game was also long. So, like, drawing 3 of a card in a long game is, like, also pretty average.
They're out there. I'll spot them. In Avarosa's name.
Break their spirits and their swords.
Which card do I hate playing against the most? You know, I don't know that I really have a card that I despise in this game. Before they nerfed it, the 8 mana make your thing unkillable was real obnoxious, but like, the Runeterra devs really understand how to not make their game feel like crap. So they nerfed that card.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's super fine now that it's fast.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
My shield is yours.
Earthquake, have you met my shield?
Do you have an elixir? Or a transfusion, I suppose? We're still 2 turns off of Lux, which is unfortunate here. Yep.
It is easy, see?
The Order rewards its faithful.
Nothing escapes my watch.
I think we're just losing 2 mana here.
This is fun, yes?
It's too late for you.
Opening hot text here is really good.
Light the
Means I don't get a chance to play Lux down with her barrier to start.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
can see the Nebastian border from here.
Probably going to go Remembrance into Beam Aporo next turn. Is it crazy to Bright Steel to start so that way she doesn't die to a flurry of burn spells in response to my Remembrance? I feel like the answer is no. I kind of want to get this in play anyways, so getting her into play and protecting my luck setup also sounds reasonable.
Better, brighter than before.
See, just needed one more to get to Laser Beam, people, chat. So anyways, here's an interesting question that often comes up. Do I give up Laser Beaming the Poro to wipe their mana here? Is that tempo worth it? I think that tempo might be worth it. Because they passed assuming I'm using the beam, but like with my board, I like don't really care about the 3/3 anymore, so like eating 7 mana sounds good. Yeah, I love the priority system in this game. It's so fantastic. So again, for people that are new to Runeterra, if both players pass, the turn just ends. Yeah, like, I've got plenty more spells rolled up to get more beams going, so... There's those decisions there where it's, like, right to not do your thing to, like, punish their priority pass is fantastic. Just so much strategic depth to the game. It's not right to just do the thing because you have the ability to do the thing. And, like, this is a huge blowout, right? I get to do this, which swaps this in to, like, eat their Braum, and it gives me a final spark here. We did the thing, yep.
Fight another day.
Yeah, in this set, we've played this deck before. This is the first time in this set today that we've gotten to do the Lux thing.
Conquest for Empire.
That's a little scary. Do I just bank this mana here? Well, these are the Poro rather than the Disciple, because it's got better stat line. Is it just Shen time? I kind of feel like I just want to bank my mana. I can also Laron, and that gives me 10 total mana next turn. That's probably ideal. We Laron, and then we open on Remembrance. Was that a good hit? Was that a good hit, chat? Time to sink the boat.
Let's talk about your tab.
Let's see what you can do.
Do I want to gain 5 and keep Lux at 6 toughness here? What's the punish for that? What's the punish for barriering the Lux here? They could have, like, some direct damage. They could Berber. What's Berber? I could also refuge the Lancer and keep this alive against the Leviathan. I'm gonna do that, actually. This plays around Fervor killing their thing and denying me life gain, too. Like, if they kill Lux from here, I think I'm okay with that. Sorry, Lux. How's Lux Shen been? It's been okay. I think after playing this really close to playing the Ashe Lux deck we played the other day, I think I prefer the Lux Ashe deck a little bit more. Of course, I also don't think this deck's bad. The other deck's just a little bit more, a better control deck. This is more of a mid-range aggro deck that occasionally does the Lux thing. The other deck is better at doing the Lux thing.
No more holding back.
Yikes. Yikes!
Lights out.
Oh, and that lets them level Swain too? This is just like a huge punish. Yeah, I think we're just dead to open attacks now, right? Because they get to stun my 2 things that can block him. That's so brutal. They like had Fury and they had
This will not take long.
Oh. What if I do this? Does this work? It does not. We're dead either way. I wanted to find out if it worked. Yeah. Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I feel like we got pretty unlucky there. Like, we knew they had the Swain, but they had to have Fury and a way to level Swain there to really punish our line. And they had to have a way to kill Lux, right? So, like, they had to level Swain. I guess if they're leveling Swain, they have a way to kill Lux, though, because those 2 things go hand in hand. If you block and then swap, it did not work. It would work if you did it in response. Okay, but that only works if I block and then they do something, right? So if I block and then hit OK, they have to do something and then I could do that. All right. At any rate, I think that's going to be it for me for today. Honestly, after playing with this set, do I still have it yet? So, I like Lux as a champion, but after seeing, hey, good games, Yasha. Good luck in the rest of your ladder matches today. After seeing how those games kind of played out today, I think I prefer the Shen Fiora deck to the Shen Lux deck. This Shen Fiora deck was doing a lot of similar things to the deck we just played, except it was a little bit more consistently lower to the ground and didn't randomly have things like Remembrance and Lux that would clunk up the hand on occasion. So I feel like if you're interested in playing with Lux, you really like her like I do, I think I didn't delete it, did I? Oh, Lux, I think Lux Ash Control is probably the better Lux deck. And then I think if you're interested in the Shen half of what this deck is doing, I think the Shen Fiora deck is probably doing the Shen part a little bit better. I do think the Shen Fiora deck, if you explicitly want to play those 2 champions, or the Shen Lux deck, if you want to play those champions, it's fine. Like, you could win plenty of games, that we've won plenty of games, but I think from a strictly competitive sense, the Lux Ash is better at being a Lux deck, and the Shen Fiora is explicitly better at being a Shen deck. Would rather do those things separately rather than together. At any rate, if you're new to the channel, make sure you give it a follow if you enjoyed the Runeterra stuff today. I post a Runeterra video with different decks almost every single day on my YouTube channel, my website. We play them live here every afternoon on Twitch. If you have a sweet Runeterra deck idea that you'd like to see played on stream at some point in the future, be sure to submit it following the details on my website there. I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon with 2 more Runeterra decks. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and stay safe out there wherever you're at in the world. Peace, folks.